I think we're starting. We
Yeah,
are officially live, I do believe.
Woo!
All right. That wasn't hard at all, right?
No, not at all.
Right. All right. So I just want to welcome everybody to the Fearless Creator Live show. This is something that I want to do like weekly on Thursdays at 9:00. And I want to get people that really have something that I think is valuable to that specific topic and that episode and what we're going to talk about that time. For the first one, it's a pleasure to have Matt from Matt Dell Videos on YouTube and Facebook. Don't want to forget about that one. But so today we're talking about like tips for vlogging. That's a big thing. Because like Matt and I were just talking, a few minutes ago, and we were just saying that, there's things about vlogging that, are kind of scary to people, like vlogging in public or not being able to come up with enough ideas and things like that, or, being consistent with your ideas or even making videos at that point. It starts to get pretty hectic, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, especially with vlogging, I think it's just one of those, you have to keep up with it, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you sit there and, especially like those daily guys. Me personally, I have no idea how you go about doing that.
I don't either.
Unless it's like a full-time gig.
Yeah, I mean,
that's about it. And even then, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to do it. I think it's something that, like, I think every person that kind of starts vlogging kind of wants to be on that crazy Neistat daily vlog thing. But in reality, sure. I mean, there's, how I don't know. It would be really tough to try to like create content, edit it, and upload it within like the only hours I have to myself per day. Like maybe if I wasn't working.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm just, definitely that aside. I mean, like the whole like daily thing aside, there's still like those issues. I think in mainly this show is mainly for, people to come in and hear it straight from, people who are doing it and, be able to ask questions and, not worry about, asking the wrong questions or anything like that.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like, it's a supportive place. I think that it would be a really cool thing to just like give some tips, things that, maybe you wish you knew when you started your channel, things I wish I thought that I knew how to do when I started my channel. And I
honestly,
just stuff like that.
I wish that there was something like this when I first started too. I mean, I think, everyone starts in the dark, and to have a community like you're trying to build, like somewhere that you can just go to and be like, hey, like I had this crazy idea. Is this normal? Or like, should I do this? Like, what are the bad things? What are the good things? It's like completely open, which is nice.
Hold on one second. I've got some delay going on.
Oh, I noticed that. Yeah. There's like it felt like we were talking to each other like overseas.
Right? Yeah. So I kind of missed your whole entire point there because.
No, I was just saying like.
Awesome.
I was just saying like it was.
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. I was just saying like it's one of those things I wish I had when I first started.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like, I think one of the things that I've noticed is just like when people are out and, commenting on videos or in our groups that we belong to and things like that, it always, I think people like subtly just say like, oh, whoa, how'd you end up doing that? And I think it's almost out of fear that, they don't want to like ask too much information because they don't want to seem like, they're bothering you or things like that. Like I've had people email me straight up and not even, send me comments on a video, but email me directly and say like, hey man, I don't really want to bother you, but, you know, how did you go about doing this? Or like simple things like,
Yeah.
how do you transfer footage from this camera onto your computer? There's a lot of beginners out there who look to people who might, you know, have been doing this for a few years and just, you know, they want to ask questions and they're afraid to ask questions. So
that's
yeah,
the best part.
I mean, it's fun. I like telling people, you know, how easy things are. And, you know, so I think that the reason that I wanted you for this first episode is because you are, when I think of like somebody who vlogs, I think of you. I think of Matt. Oh. So it's like, it's pretty awesome. So like to have you like in a, you know, position of like, you know, you're my buddy, a peer. I look at your videos and I think of things that I can do better on my videos when I watch your videos and things like that.
I look at your videos too, like awesome. That too. Yep. No, I think that's great. I this is such a great idea. I'm totally down. I can't wait to see other episodes you make about this. I want to see what other point of views there are out there and what people are doing to get these vlogs out.
Yeah, I think it'll be really neat. Basically, I mean, like, just to like jump right into it, I feel like I want to ask you, like, you know, why do you think that anyone considering starting a vlog should go ahead and do it? And then, I mean, why did you start yours?
I think people need to ask themselves, you know, do I want these memories cataloged? That's the reason why I started. I mean, I was making videos before YouTube was a thing, but I didn't know where to put them. And now it's just driving me to make more videos because it's like I could go back and somebody says, "Oh, like when you and Dawn first started dating, you know, like what was that like?" And I could show them a video I made of our first date. But it wasn't a vlog. It was just like a memory. I was calling them memory videos. I didn't know what else to call them.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. It's so cool. I mean,
like, not kids. Anyone that's starting, I think it's like first and foremost, it's that memory thing for me that drives me to make these videos. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely when I started making videos, you know, it was kind of, my channel like evolved like 300 freaking times at this point. Like I started making, you know, prank videos and then I went on to like semi vlogs and then these like product videos that were like half vlog, half product videos. But like all of it was, you know, just a way for me to have a creative outlet. That was something that I needed because I was just like corporate America, going to work, making videos about like, you know, t-shirts and jeans all day long. And it wasn't fun. And I wanted to take back the excitement that I got out of making videos. So I started making YouTube videos. And, you know, obviously I ran across Casey Neistat and I was like, whoa, this dude like just tells stories about like what he does on a daily basis. And then that's kind of when vlogging was like appealing to me and then super scary to me too, because I was just like, I would love the chance to do a vlog, but the problem is my life is not as exciting as this guy. I'm not on a plane and I'm not flying to California every day and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people probably think that, you know, your life's not that exciting.
Yeah.
But lately, you know, I've just been really thinking, you know, when you do make vlogs and things like that, it really is up to you to make something interesting, and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? If you're going to buy a cabinet for your bathroom or something like that, it's your job to like get out there and make a story out of it. You know, you need your intro, you need a conflict, and you need a resolution, and that's a vlog right there.
Yeah. So, and I think you're right. And then we're saying like, oh, memories are like the thing that kind of like starts it or whatever. But at the same time, it's exactly what you just said. It's almost to do with like filling that filmmaker, you know, need inside of you, like that interest in like how can I be a filmmaker and make these like short stories about this one day that I lived, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like it's pretty wild. There's actually some people dropping some comments in here, which I'm pretty happy about. Matt, can you see the chat?
You know what?
Are you able to
just said that. I was like, I don't know. I don't see the chat. Should I be on YouTube? No, it's not on YouTube.
It's weird. Like the way that this is, I have like a Google Hangouts window and a YouTube window side by side, so I can see the chat.
I want to see the chat.
My niece is going to bed. Good night, honey. Love you. Chris, he says that the fact that you use the HX80 is awesome. I have the same camera, and I see the quality content you post from that camera is really inspirational. Cheers. So, Chris, if you're out there still listening, Matt actually ran the HX80 for a long time also. And, that was something that we bonded over. And
yeah,
it's
actually Jordan's video is
I love that camera.
Jordan's video is when I saw Jordan's video, that's the first video I saw of yours. And I was like,
oh, really?
Done so well. Who is this guy? And then it's funny that that we ended up talking later on, but it was the reason why I bought the camera was because of that video.
Dude, it's a great camera. I mean, for what is it? 300. Actually, I have it sitting right here. For like $300 or something like that. It was the first one that I was sitting there thinking like, oh, this is going to be awesome for vlogging. And, it being a lot smaller, just the footprint of this camera alone made me feel more comfortable when I was vlogging in public because I wasn't scared to have, this giant thing with a camera on top of that and a microphone on top of that. I wasn't afraid to use this little camera. And that's a lot of the reason I tell people, all the time to vlog on their phones. I mean, because everyone talks to their phones in public. Yeah. So it's, that's something that, you could at least start doing until you get comfortable.
Yeah, for sure.
Ash says he stopped watching vlogs because he can't relate to the new vloggers. Why is that? I think a lot of people have. I don't know. I think there's like a whole mix of like.
There's definitely a shift
out there. What's that?
There's definitely a shift. Like, I find like there's different categories of vlogging. There's people that just do the, the jump cuts and like only what's funny, and they're just trying to get as many laughs as possible. Versus like capturing like from the morning to the end.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's, I don't know. I mean, there are definitely people that are types of vloggers that I like to watch. And then there's types of vloggers that I don't like to watch. Aside from, Tara Lynn's a girl from our Facebook groups and things like that, one of our buddies from YouTube. Aside from her vlogs, I'm not really a giant fan of family vlogs. So I don't really watch a lot of those at all. I'm more of like, the guy who is out traveling and having fun and doing all these different things, and camera guys, gear people. But Tara Lynn has a way of making her vlogs so stinking cute and so awesome to watch and engaging that I watch them all the time.
That's in there. Yep.
Yeah.
I totally agree. It's I don't know. There's definitely a lot of different niches like out there, and to kind of if I was starting again to find that like niche and know like which direction I'm going would be so difficult because there's so much out there now. But I find you're right. I mean, I still am interested in finding people that are kind of like, because it's weird. Like sometimes when I make vlogs, it's like sometimes they are about traveling, but sometimes they're not. And it's like I don't really know where I belong. Like sometimes I feel like it's like, is it a family vlog? But I don't have kids running around. and it's not really a
Right,
travel
right.
vlog because I'm not always traveling. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have, and this is really what I've been doing for the last few months. You know, back earlier in the year, mid part of this year, I went like full force into YouTube. I was doing like 3 videos a week. You know, you were doing the last live or the podcast thing that I was doing,
Oh
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
everything kind of like fell off, and I kind of like stopped for a minute because that's what I was doing. I was really, really trying to figure out where I belonged in this whole thing.
Right.
And it literally took me such a long time to figure that out. And I think that I'm finally figuring this out.
I love it.
Um,
Yeah.
you know, I love making videos about you know, how to use cameras and gear videos and things like that. But there's a million people out there that do the exact same thing. And you know, Peter McKinnon does it the best, and then there's a million other people that do it better, and then there's me, and then you know there's 100 other people. So
I don't know. I
how did
don't know
I
if he does
how
it
you know how
like,
could I what's that?
I don't know if he does it the best. I think it's just like there's a lot of people that know about him. I think he
Yeah,
struck it gold at,
he's
at
got
some
the
point.
he's
So
got the whole like magnetic personality.
yeah. But the one thing I do like about your channel is the idea that you are focusing on a lot of people that might have those simple questions or want to do something with their videos that just like I wanted, you know, like it's the simple approach. It's maybe it's the beginners, or maybe it's like
Yeah.
slightly intermediate, or maybe you got this like random question. Like I think I learned one of the things I learned from your video was that drone thing that you did, where like it made everything look miniature.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
sometimes it's not about people that are just starting out. It's maybe
Right.
you touch on that topic that it's like, oh shit, I never even thought of that. And they're nice and short. They're like well
Yeah.
packaged. It's great.
It's and that's kind of like where I finally ended up, like after this whole like introspective like few months of like just looking at what I was doing.
Yeah.
I figured, okay, I can still make these types of videos. I can still make the how to you know, make better videos, types of videos. And but I can kind of gear this stuff towards people that really want to know this stuff. And you know, there's no sense in me teaching somebody on my same skill level something. Do you know what I mean? Those people are already doing it. And what actually kind of ended up pointing me in the direction of where I needed to be and what types of videos I needed to make were there was a comment on one of my videos. It's a video called How to Shoot B-roll like a pro in like 6 minutes. That video over the last couple months like blew up, and I got a lot of subscribers from that video and a lot of positive comments. And then I got like this one comment, and this dude was like, I have a feeling that you're trying to teach us something that you're not good at. And I was like so intrigued by that comment. I was like, you know, what do you mean? And because like everyone else has been like, oh, this is a great video. You go behind the scenes, you teach us all how to do this, shoot the B-roll and all that stuff. And what he was saying is your lighting is terrible. You know, it just doesn't look good. The lighting, like in your video. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, and I'm like, well, I'm not showing these people how to light a video. I'm showing them how to shoot B-roll, because if they don't know how to shoot B-roll, chances are they don't own a light kit either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
teaching people who are like at a you know, a beginner level.
Yeah.
And then once I explained it to the guy, he was like, "Oh, dude, this totally makes sense then. Like, no wonder you don't have lighting. You know, like I just wanted to shoot everything in daylight, natural daylight,
Yeah.
and you know, show how you can make a decent video in that." So then it clicked, and I was like, "Oh, so maybe this is where I need to be." And then the whole idea of like, you know, getting you guys on here to give advice about, you know, your specific uh, niche, whatever, and how you guys handle you know, issues when you're vlogging and things like that. Like when you first started, when I first started, I saw Casey's gear and I was like, oh yeah, I definitely need one of these bendy tripod things. I have a DSLR already because I've been making videos for like 13 years. I got the mics, I got all this cool stuff, but I need this bendy tripod thing. And, you know, what did you think whenever you started vlogging? Were you just like, what do I need to do?
Yeah.
Like, what do I need to buy?
It was overwhelming, but I think what I did, I looked at Casey and I tried shooting on the DSLR. It was huge. It's big. I did it for a bit. And then I stumbled on Roman Atwood and I realized he was using the G7X. And then I started Googling, well, what are similar, because that camera is like, it's a little out of budget for someone that's starting.
For sure. It's an expensive
Then I
camera.
started thinking, oh, what are, you know, all like other alternatives? And that's when I came across your video. So, yeah, but I think the advice of just shoot, like find some way to shoot and start editing.
Yeah.
Like, put together that story. Like Casey once said, like, it's not about the gear. And it isn't. It's really
I agree. I totally agree. Like, you know, just going back to that whole like introspective time that I had with the channel, it really made me think like when I'm in my car, like I could be giving some like talking head content or context to my videos. Why aren't I doing that? And it was because I didn't want to have to take the time to set up a DSLR or, you know, the G7X or something. And then I was like, whoa, why aren't I using my phone? And then it almost seemed like, what? Like, why am I not shooting on my phone? This thing shoots in 4K. What the hell is my problem? Like, so, and then it turned into a thing where I was more about like the audio. The audio was a problem. Like, I hated that like distance that there was between me and the camera. And then I went and I got that the H1N audio recorder.
Oh, okay.
So like now if I'm in my car and I have this like little thing that holds my phone, I hit record and then I put this audio recorder right next to my phone and I get great audio in my car now.
Wow.
It's all about like, you know, trying to do things the easiest way, in my opinion. And, you know, I don't think anybody that I know is above, you know, vlogging on their phone or using the HX80 or a G7X as opposed to DSLRs and things like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's awesome. As long as, you know, you have the content and you've got your story, I think that's where things really lie when it comes to vlogging.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, if you have a way to record things, there you go.
Yeah, I think
it's good.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So how do you think, I guess, like, you know, after it's all about like, you know, you start your vlog and, you know, you got your gear, your specific gear that you want to use and all that stuff. How do you think that people, we talked about this a little bit, like, how do you think people go about finding their niche?
Yeah.
That's
the hardest part. I think that's going to, like,
I literally just said,
honestly, like I'm still struggling with that. I think if you are the type of person like, well, I really like, you know, makeup tutorials, like it's kind of like, you know, an obvious answer. But at the same time, it's like there's these. I saw this on YouTube where you can do creator, like their lessons. You can like YouTube gives like creator lessons kind of thing, and one of them is about finding your niche. So, and I was kind of like researching it and just like looking like what like YouTube is suggesting. And it seems like when you're looking for one, it's not like just makeup. It's like makeup, but then, you know, who's your demographic and like, who are you like really targeting? And maybe that's something I should be looking into, like, you know, really like, you know, like going down, it's like, yeah, like my makeup tutorials are going to be specifically for 13-year-olds that are like,
Right.
So I don't know. For me, the niche, for me, when I found, like, I don't know if I want to say even I found it, because I feel like I'm still kind of slightly struggling with it, in the sense that, like, I make videos that make me happy.
Yeah.
So then I was like, if that's all that matters to me.
Well, I mean, I think that there's certain people out there that make videos that make them happy and it doesn't work for them. But I think that it's definitely working for you. I go through and I see, since we're in the same groups and all of that stuff, and any of you guys who are out there listening, you guys should definitely find some like Facebook groups that have to do, if you're not hooked, like linked up with like Facebook groups that are like support systems to like your YouTube and creating videos and things, you absolutely need to find those. They're incredible. Down in the description, there is a link to our group. It's a new group called Fearless Creator. You can scroll down there in the description and join that group. But there's a ton of them out there, and I feel like I see people like, giving you all of these accolades, and like they're always just like, dude, you're so funny. You are so funny. I watch your videos and I belly laugh. I sit like I'll watch them like in the morning or I'll something. What's that?
I would get criticized. Don always says I'm not funny.
No way, dude. It is funny. Like, because I mean, I don't know. Dawn knows you as like her husband. You are Matt. You are her. I know you as this dude that I've never met, but we're buddies because of YouTube and Facebook and our groups and stuff like that. So just like the funny nuances that I see in your videos make me just laugh, because whether it's an editing technique, something that you cut out real quick and I know what you're about to say, but you cut it out and I finish that sentence with my mind. I think it's hilarious. But yeah, just like different things like that. And I think that you have definitely gone ahead and found certain, what do you want to call them? Rituals that you do with your audience that people can really depend on seeing when they watch one of your videos.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think that is how, like, you could go into like building an audience and things like that. Speaking of which, I want to hear, because this is super funny, and because I hear the same explanation and the same answer every single time. How do you think that you go about building a solid audience?
Doesn't anyone want to know what there's like that special magical formula is?
Right. Every single YouTube video on YouTube that says how to build an audience on YouTube,
I don't know.
It always is the same answer. But I want to hear your answer.
For me, I remember hearing that YouTube's a community, and all I kept on thinking was a community like talks and comments and actually watches other people's videos. And that's right from the beginning, that's what I was doing. I was just putting in hours of just watching, going on Reddit. And if I knew Reddit existed like a few years ago, it would have helped so much. Reddit is a huge platform. So many people on there posting vlogs and stuff like that. And just like, you want that one person to watch your vlog, you should be putting in the time to watch other people's vlogs.
Absolutely.
And just comment and reach out and be sincere. That's what I did. And there's like, found great, like, such nice people out there, and everyone's very supportive. I don't think YouTube is as mean as it used to be like 10 years ago. I find like it has like really become a lot more welcoming, and people are like giving each other like helpful hints and advice, and it's kind of a nice place to be right now.
Yeah, I mean, like when I'm making a video or something and rolling through my comments or something like that, it's very rare that I run across somebody that just wants to be a troll and somebody that's just like ripping into me for like, something that I said wrong or something like that. If I said like, if I said megabyte instead of megabit or something like that. Somebody's like,
yeah.
this guy doesn't know shit about cameras. And I'm like, oh, my Christ, man.
But I mean, I feel like it was
get
like that. It was definitely like that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure. Oh, yeah. And then there would be like a million people that jumped on you for that. Even if they didn't know what that guy was talking about, they would be like, yeah, I agree with that guy. He's an asshole. It was just like, you know, everybody wanted to be a jerk. And, you know,
yeah, exactly.
I just, I think that you're right. You know, when you go out there and, you know, you're commenting on videos and you're being genuine with people and you're telling them, you know, giving them feedback as to what they're doing. I think that, you know, most people would want to watch something of theirs and then do the same for them.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really good way to, like you said, meet new people, make new friends. It's a good thing. And, you know, you don't always have to, you know, go back to that person. Like, say, you know, you left me a comment, you know, it's not completely necessary that I immediately go check your channel out, because I'm checking out, like, you know, your channel and Tara Lynn's channel and, say, like, you know, Mike's channel and this guy's channel. And I'm checking out all these other channels. So, like, in a way, all that stuff is really just kind of like, it's like karma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, if a gamer comes to my channel and says, like, you know, a gamer who's interested in film and video also, and they say, hey man, great stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I go to check out his stuff and it's about like some game that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, like,
right.
I'll be nice and I'll just say, like, yo, dude, cool video. It's not, this isn't really like my interest or anything, but, you know, I appreciate that you're out there, like, busting your ass and creating, doing things.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
what you mean. Yeah, totally.
But yeah, I think it's a pretty cool thing. The normal answer, everybody puts out a video, like, almost every day. There's a brand new video on how to get a YouTube audience and build this giant audience. And the answer is consistency. And everybody always says consistency, and there really is no shortcut to this. And I think you can agree to that. I think everybody that we know can agree to this. Even those starting out who have like 10 subscribers and they're just trying to make it to 15, you understand that there is no shortcut to this. It's like losing weight. There is no like magic diet pill that you're just going to pop in your mouth and just like become this like shredded beast.
I know. I was thinking, the other day I was like, it's almost like an ice sculpture, but you're like making an ice sculpture with like a toothpick. And that's what it feels like sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's gonna get there. It's just like, it's gonna forever.
Right. It does. And in the beginning, that's why they say, like, the first 100 subscribers is the hardest to get. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah. I like that whole analogy, because it is almost like, you know, making an ice sculpture with a toothpick. But then as you go further and further, then, you know, your tools change, and then maybe you get, you know, a hammer, and then maybe you get a chainsaw, and then eventually you're ripping ice sculptures out left and right. You know what I mean? It's a thing where, like, you know, like I said, that one B-roll video that I made, that video alone in the last few weeks got me like almost 700 and some subscribers.
That's amazing.
In like 3 weeks.
That's so good.
And it's like, that's what I've been waiting for, you know, for all this time. And I made that video so long ago, and I don't know why all of a sudden it got picked up by, you know, this algorithm or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just a weird thing. And, you know, eventually at some point something hits, and, you know, it was weird. Some guy first comment that I got, like, in this recent group of people that this wave, I was at a house. I was photographing a house, for, you know, doing some real estate photography, and this guy wrote this message and said, "Hey man, I really like your B-roll video much better than Peter McKinnon's video, because you explain it
Yeah.
You go behind the scenes and you explain things.
Oh,
And I'm sitting there looking at this comment and I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. I'm really glad this guy watched my video.
yeah.
And then for the next few weeks, it was just this wave of like people like, whoa, man, this is a great video. And I was like, holy shit. So I started taking notes and really thinking like, all right, what are the things that people are telling me that they like the most? And
Right.
it was behind the scenes stuff and B-roll. You know, everybody loves some like nice slow motion and B-roll and smooth cuts and stuff like that. So I really then on one of my last videos that is just about how to make vlogs more interesting, I use B-roll as the whole, it's the ticket. You know, you want to shoot interesting B-roll. So if you are, like we said, you know, going to buy a cabinet for your bathroom or something, it's going to take you a long time because you want to go shoot some awesome B-roll of how you got there, what you're doing in the store, blah, 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 all this stuff. And, you know, just to make things interesting. So I think it's pretty cool. I, you know, kind of get my inspiration, you know, from different creators and things like that. You know, Casey all the time. I don't really think that in the beginning that I really looked at Casey's vlogs and thought B-roll like at all until he started hanging out with Peter McKinnon.
No, I remember being like, I remember B-roll being like a thing you kind of almost didn't even want to. I don't know how to explain it. Like B-roll felt like it was just like added, something you just add on if you have to. But now it feels like it's like you have to, you almost have to have it. But I mean, again, it's one of those things. It's like, what kind of vlogger do you want to be? Because I could only speak about like what I do, right? So when I think of B-roll, I think of it like, does the story need it? Because like, I'm not gonna, you know, slap a whole bunch of B-roll into my vlog when people are like, yeah, I get it, like you're at another place or something. Or
right, yeah.
I feel like it depends on the vlog you're trying to create or what kind of vlogger you. It's like some vloggers don't even use B-roll at all. They don't even have, you know, like even animations or like, it just depends on, you know, the style that you want to develop.
Yeah, and I think that's the coolest part about like something like this Q&A, this whole thing is just like we're getting different answers from different people. And you know, me myself, since I'm all about like cameras and all that stuff, that obviously is going to be a thing for me is B-roll. Like, you know, that's something that, you know, I kind of almost based my channel off of to begin with. So it's just, you know, it's really cool. And I think it's awesome. Like you said, there's a lot of people out there who are just like talking heads and they crush it. They kill it. And like any kind of like, you know, if you ever type in like how to vlog or anything like that, the first thing it says is like, yo, don't be a talking head. People hate that. That's not real. If you want to be a talking head, you be a goddamn talking head.
And all that. I mean, there's so many different types of vlogs for sure.
Yeah.
I think Chris is asking something. What are your thoughts on the GoPro with the stabilization? That camera.
Oh, the 7, the GoPro 7.
Yeah. What do you think?
What? I was really impressed with that. Like when they launched the 7, I watched a lot of videos. I watched you know, a bunch of different like tests and stuff with like mountain bikers and things like that. And the in-camera stabilization was like mind-blowing. I almost didn't believe that it was doing that.
Right.
And then just watching the GoPro videos made me dig mine out of a drawer. And I've been using it a lot more. Like just even like I went hiking, you know, and I just strapped it up on my backpack and I was like, yo, if I get any usable footage out of this, awesome. If I don't, then whatever. It doesn't matter. I haven't been using the damn thing anyway. As far as vlogging on a GoPro, I think you can absolutely do it. I have the equipment to do it. I bought these things called Go Knuckles. They're literally plastic what do you call those things that you put on
Brass
like
knuckles?
bloody brass knuckles?
Yeah.
So they're like plastic brass knuckles that you put on, and there's a little GoPro mount
Oh, cool.
that, you know, you screw the cage into. And then especially with like, you know, the black cameras, like this is the Hero 4 Black. I don't know if you guys can see, but there is a little port right there that you can plug a microphone into. So
Yeah.
I can use a Rode mic on this guy and just sit there and hold it. I mean, the thing's got an ultra wide, a medium, and a narrow field of view. So I've done it. You can absolutely vlog on a GoPro if you feel so inclined to do so.
Yeah, here it is. There's one with a GoPro.
There you go. Yep. Is that the mic or is that the camera? The screen just, I didn't see your screen.
It's this is one of the mics I have.
There you go.
Another mic for the GoPro. But you know what's funny when with GoPro, like answering that question about GoPro, the like when I first started, I did shoot everything on a GoPro just because that was the camera that I had.
Yeah.
And it was just so wide. And we shot a lot of our traveling stuff with it. But the mic on it is so good already. It's like
it's not bad at all.
Like sometimes you're like, I should just not even plug it in because it's so good right out of the gate.
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet camera. Chris, I'd say if you want to go for that, I think it would be awesome because I mean that in-camera stabilization, if you're talking about like walking down the street or running down the street with like, you know, your GoPro slapped on top of like something like this and you're walking, you're essentially carrying a gimbal. I mean, at that point, that thing is so stable. And you certainly, I don't know how many gimbals you've had your hands on, but they're not light. So you definitely don't want to vlog with, you know, some big gimbal like that. So yeah, man, I'd say definitely a viable option.
Yeah,
for sure. I don't know. You know, I'm doing a whole bunch of different things. Like I see, you know, I have this like spreadsheet of videos and topics that I want to hit. And I kind of want to take this channel and do like this, where we're talking about vlogging tips and things like that. And, you know, I did my last video about vlogging tips and things like that. So I kind of want these videos to like, you know, overlap and interlace and, you know, kind of inspire the same people to watch this one and that one.
Yeah.
My upcoming stuff is going to be more about like, you know, individual things like how to vlog on a phone. Like, you know, for those people out there that are like, you know, should I vlog on a phone? I'm just starting. These are always the funniest ones. Like I'm just starting. Which camera should I get? The 80D or a Sony like AR7 whatever? And I'm like, or A7S or what? And I'm just like I don't even have the Sony. Like, and I have a video business. Like, dude, use your phone. Like, that's the most comfortable option. It fits in your pocket, and you can take it anywhere. You know what I mean? So I think that that was a lame attempt at a segue into vlogging in public. I wanted to hit that topic because that's a very, very important thing that I think people that watch my channel will definitely talk about.
Yeah, I mean, vlogging in public, it's awkward. I think it's just one of those things that like you just have to, like when I do it, I kind of do feel a little nervous. But then the one trick that I do is I literally look at the lens, like the actual lens, and I just talk to it like it's a person, and all of a sudden everyone else kind of disappears. And like at the end of the day, like who really cares? I mean, people tend to look at you because they're just wondering what you're doing. Like you would look at them if they were doing this exact same thing. They don't, you know, I don't know. It's at first it's a little awkward, but I don't think it's something that anyone should ever get hung up on. I think you just ignore them and you're just like I'm just gonna do this because the story needs it. And that's the other thing too. I was thinking about this earlier today that sometimes when I talk in public in the camera, I think after like was that necessary? Did I really need to talk at that moment? Because like sometimes you're distracted, you don't deliver the way you maybe would deliver if the camera was like put down, or like you had a moment of like quietness to yourself kind of thing. So I don't know, like sometimes I do it and then I review it. Like I try to watch my vlogs like at least 4 or 5 times before I post it. So that way, like I really get an idea, like, is any of this stuff that I left in like worth the story? Like, does it help the story? Does it make the story longer? Like I have like ADD. Like if the story goes on for too long, I shut it off. I'm like, okay, I really got to cut this whole thing out because it's just not working for me.
Yeah. I mean, I think I do the same thing. I go and I film a bunch of stuff, and then in editing, dude, I'm brutal. I'm like a Ginsu chef. I'm just like,
Yeah, you just
I cut out like 1,000,000 hours of stuff that I did all day long. But I think that's important because that shows that you really are just like really out to get after, the root of your story. And that's good. Like the vlogging in public thing, I think that it's cool that you do that, even when you know that maybe that wasn't completely necessary, because I think it's a thing where you know that you have to vlog in public, or that eventually, like, say, your channel takes off. That's something that you're going to have to do. You're going to have to be, and even if your channel doesn't like necessarily take off, at some point in the local community, someone is going to say, hey man, you're that guy with the YouTube channel. Do you mind like coming to speak to like a group of kids or something?
Yeah.
At that point, you might only have like a couple hundred subscribers at that point, but somebody's asking you to come speak in front of a group. So that's what you got to do. You got to go and you got to do that.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
It's cool. I remember, my first couple times I was like really scared, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do this on my phone. And that made me feel more comfortable. Yeah. And then, I graduated onto the HX80, and I could, it was a camera and it was fun. And I was like, I felt good about myself, and I was like, all right, this is getting easier. But it's almost weird that I find it more relaxing to now do it with a giant camera, a DSLR and everything, because at this point, like you said, people just want to know what you're doing. At this point, everyone knows what I'm doing, and I don't even have to really explain it. Like if they come up to me and say like, hey man, you're making videos for YouTube, I'm like, yes I am. And I have these YouTube business cards that I carry around with me. Ooh, and I'm just like, nice. Here you go.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm like, here you go. And they can scan like my little QR code right there. It'll take them straight to my channel. They can hit subscribe. And, I'll usually just be like, yo, say hi. They say hi to the camera. And, it's just things like that. I think that I noticed like in my videos, cause like I'm kind of like an audio, like I get like real messed up about audio. If audio isn't really good, I get like real picky about it in my videos. So I would notice when I was in public that I would have to take and boost my levels really high because I was talking really quiet because I was very embarrassed. So that was a thing where I was like, you know what? Just be wacky. Who gives a shit? Like, who cares? In the grand scheme of things, like you said, who actually cares?
Right.
And, I do it. Me and my girlfriend, when we were going to France, we vlogged in the airport. We vlogged in a mall. Tons of people walking all over the place, and not one single person stood there and looked at us or judged us or anything. I'm talking like young people, old people, people my grandfather's age.
It's funny that you say that because
gave a shit.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because it's like I feel like when we travel, like we're originally from Toronto, and like when we're walking downtown in Toronto, I don't feel awkward at all. And
yeah.
And like out here, I think it's like when there's a lot of people, I could easily do it. but when you're only like gonna be like, there's only like one or two people like crossing the street and stuff like that, they're like, maybe it's a little more intense. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something that you just mentioned that is like, I totally get that, because it's like,
I think it's the number of people.
yeah, you
I
can kind of
think
like,
that yes, yeah, you lose yourself in a crowd. You know
right.
what I mean? Like, but when you're with just like a few people, then it's like, geez, like, you know, what's going on? You know, there's people actually listening to you at that point. So,
And I
like, you know,
find that
maybe it's good to get.
you were talking about like shooting with friends and stuff before, and like the other thing is like, I find which helped was approaching everyone and saying, I'm shooting, and this video is going on YouTube, just to let you guys know. Like,
Yeah.
and then everything is so much easier. And I was like, well, why was I not doing this before? Because like
Yeah.
everybody that's like friends and like people that are around, if they don't want to be in the video, they just kind of like, you know, they're just not there. And then everyone else already knows it's not awkward. And like, if you stick a camera in front of someone's face, they're not awkward about it because you've already told everyone what your intentions are. So I don't know. I wish I did that before.
Yeah, man. I mean, those are things that like I mean,
Yeah.
I've been out on, you know, say like a bachelor party weekend or something like that, and I filmed a vlog during that, but I ended up not using any of the vlogging footage in that video. I just made like a B-roll montage of the weekend because I did to my friends what I was doing, and they kind of were just like, what are we filming here? And then like, I mean, you know, us all like sitting around and drinking like all day and stuff like that. Like nobody wants their workplace to see that.
Yeah.
So like that, you know, that was a thing that I like kind of was just like, you know what? I don't know. But like to go up and just say like, hey, I am filming a video. This is going to be on YouTube and I'm going to get a couple minutes of like what we're doing here. So if you don't want it on TV or on YouTube or whatever, then just kind of like back off for a little bit or don't do that bad thing.
Yeah, I think everyone kind of has that about in mind. They're just like, I don't want to be on YouTube, you know.
Right, yeah. Yeah, like it's a bad thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's super funny.
Some people hate it.
I mean, like just going off of, and why I brought up like the friends thing was like, your last vlog that I saw. It was the Thanksgiving one.
Oh yeah.
It was awesome because you guys just like went out and you had like Thanksgiving, which I had no idea. Thanksgiving in Canada is like a whole month early. Dude, I was like, man, he's really, really like in the mood for Thanksgiving if he's having a turkey a month before the turkey. Like, man, I don't like turkey that much.
I don't know. Don and I still we still celebrate Thanksgiving when you guys do it.
Yeah.
So
well, that's awesome.
Nice.
That's cool. Yeah, it was cool because you guys had like a game night and a Friendsgiving and things like that, and you all like hung out, and it was cool. And again, going back to like, you know, we're not all like jet setting around the world and things like that. It was just cool to see that you made a really interesting vlog out of a typical ordinary day. It went from an ordinary day into an extraordinary vlog. I watched that vlog I think 3 times so far.
Oh, really?
Like back to back, like front to back. It's just good. It's really good. And I think like, you know, just the way that you put together your things, your stories, I think they're really awesome. And I think that, you know, people would learn some like really cool techniques by watching your channel. I just like the thing that, you know, I don't know. Like I said, like I tend to use B-roll when I'm trying to make my ordinary day seem exciting and engaging. What are some of the things that you do to make your videos, you know, or like what are some of the things that you do to make these situations like vlog worthy?
That's a very good question. I noticed that like I like to laugh when I watch these videos. So sometimes if I'm with someone, I try to set it up, slightly set it up in a way that the other person's gonna do something funny. Like if I know that it's gonna go that way kind of thing. Like I kind of like ahead of time kind of like what would be a good example? Like if we were at a house party and for example, we have a friend that built like a huge tower of cans, right? And they're just like, you know, hanging out there, and they're slowly building it. But I already thought, how funny would that be if like I just knocked it over for the shot? So you kind of set it up in a way like you shoot it, and then you shoot it like knocking it over, and then grabbing that reaction, you know, just to make it funny for the vlog. Yeah. Like I guess maybe like trying to stretch out your content. That's like even if it's just a small little clip, just have like a beginning and an end, so that way it kind of like they're all individually packaged.
Mm-hmm. So like multiple, I guess like multiple stories like within.
Yeah, multiple stories for sure. Yeah, I mean that's what they do in the movies. So like it's like figured, you know, it's gonna work in smaller stories too, like subplots and stuff.
For sure. Yeah, I think, you know, I think a lot of why I enjoy your videos is because I think, and I mean, you probably already know this, but I feel like I go on like journeys with you in your videos. Like it's cool because like I feel like, you know, if you and Don go play basketball or something, I kind of feel like I'm there because like, you know, you don't spend too much time. I think this is a thing that new YouTubers like really kind of like fuck up all the time when they're making their videos. They feel like they need to put every single detail into a video. And I do it too. And I'm like, you know, hey, I'm going hiking. And then I show you a 20-minute montage of me getting to the hiking spot. Like, you don't need that. Like with your videos, it's really awesome because like, you know, you show up in frame with a basketball, you say a few words, and then the next thing you know, you're shooting hoops. And it's like, well, yeah, he's going to play basketball. And that's a good way to tell stories. It's like a streamlined way of doing it. And, you know, even if you did.
Yeah, right. I see what you're saying. And I think I think I'm just always afraid that people are going to watch and be like, when's he going to get to the basketball court? That's what I'm always worried about. So I'm just like, always like, okay, well, will people like just kind of like, let's just hurry up the story. Let's get to the point. Because I find people, for me, it's like 4 minutes. For me, the 4 minute mark is where I want to hover around 4 to 5 minutes. Like obviously there's vloggers that make 20 minutes and like longer, and that's fine. But my attention span is so short that I appreciate short videos. And I think that's another thing that a lot of new YouTubers, new vloggers, they tend to shoot long and then never like when they're editing it, they're just dropping scenes in and just one after the other. And it's like, you kind of like lose the momentum a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
well, here in the chat, if you can see, Anthony's outdoors. He, dude, hits the nail right on the head. Society is geared towards instant gratification these days, which is unfortunate. Yeah. And that is 100% true. I have used that exact same speech in business meetings. Like when I'm trying to sell videos to people, it's the same thing because I'm like, all right, so here we go. I can take this video and, you know, this will be your long form video. This will be your web video. What we can do out of that is cut this thing down to a 30 and a 15. A 30 is going to kind of get the point across, but a 15 are for those people who really are just built on the whole, like, you know, old school Snapchat, Vine, Instagram days, you know, people that can't hear the same thing for more than 5 seconds at a time. Anthony hit it right on the head, dude. That is exactly. That's exactly it.
He's right. It's totally like that.
You know, I've gone ahead and I've looked into, I've bought like books and all this stuff, like audiobooks on Audible, you know, when I was on my flight to France and stuff about like tips and tricks of vlogging and like building an audience and a base and all this stuff. And a lot of people say that you really have to have, you know, a good bit of action happen within 8 seconds of your video, or people are just going to be like, see ya. It's like, man, like 8 seconds, that's wild. So, you know, and how do you go about doing that? So, you know, for those people out there that are just starting to vlog, that doesn't mean you need to, you know, give away your climax at the very beginning of your video per se. You can show, you know, right up to the point where the excitement is about to happen and use it as a teaser in the beginning of your video and then start your story. Yeah. And then once you get to your climax in the later parts of your story, that, you know, people are going to be waiting for that because they saw it up front. So they're going to want to see what happened out here. Yeah. And I think, you know, those are really good tips for people, like, especially like editing and things like that. Editing isn't the easiest thing for some people.
Oh, I know. And I think it's also like we were talking about like subplots before, right? And I find like you're talking about action, right? So if you're starting the scene off, and I'm like, this is just my advice. It's not like concrete or anything, but I find like just a slow jump cut closer and then going back is enough excitement to keep someone being like, oh, what did they just say? Like, oh, yeah. Like you just string them along, but make every sentence like I used to edit it. I used to edit my vlogs like just putting, you know, footage of me talking about whatever. But now I feel like every sentence needs to be in there for a reason. And if it's in there, I should spend just as much time on that sentence as I do like on a montage.
I totally agree, man.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just like, maybe you're right. Like the excitement, like the first 8 seconds, it doesn't have to be like you lighting a firework. It could be like you talking about something, but just making it edited in a way that people just keep watching.
Yeah. I mean, because there might not be anything that exciting about about that vlog. Yeah. So like whatever you can do to like go ahead and make something interesting, you know, it's cool just to do things like that. One of the biggest techniques that I think, and I guess this is a Casey technique, but I think that this really does build a lot of excitement, and a lot of people do it. A lot of people do it. It's starting a sentence, like you've got like, say a whole sentence, saying a couple words of your sentence in one location, cutting to your next location, finishing your sentence. Yeah. That is, honest to God, people, for some reason, it mind fucks a million people and they just go, wait a minute. Yeah. He was here and said this, but finished, this was fluid, but these two things are not fluid. And people are just like, I want to watch more. I need to
because you're putting more emphasis on the sentence. Like you're putting you're making it important. It's
great.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Just like little things like that, I think you know, can really just like grab onto people and you know, kind of make them stick around and want to watch your videos and things like that. When you are filming, I guess it's one thing that I used to do is kind of overshoot. I used to over film a lot because I would, you know, think that I had to start filming like the second I woke up, and, you know, film everything I did until like, you know, I felt like the vlog was done. And like, do you generally do that? Do you film pretty much everything throughout your day, or are you like to the point where you're kind of like almost pre-scripting this stuff in your head, like your events and stuff like that, and you know what you're going to shoot? Because I mean, you're kind of
there's definitely a balance of both. I think personally, when I watch vlogs, I don't really care to see someone waking up and like what they look like when they just wake up. I like to see it. And I think that's probably probably from Casey's videos or whatever, just bang on, like they're ready to go. Your first scene is just, you're ready in it. And picking the topics, it's definitely now gearing towards like, I think of something that would be fun as a video. And then when I'm about to shoot it, I'm already editing in my head like, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this. but then there's stuff in between
Yeah.
that happens that you just shoot. But you're
Yeah,
trying to
like anything's bonus. Anything outside of your shot list is like bonus.
Yeah.
I actually I mean, I've kind of found myself like, you know, writing things in my notes app on my phone or writing things down on a tablet, just
nice.
almost like scripting out a vlog, and not like so much the words that I'm saying. But just like I know what situations I'm going to be in. Like when we went on the hike, I knew that we would be driving in the car. I knew we'd be getting ready for the hike. And I knew that once we got out of the car and started walking into the woods, we would be doing that. I knew we'd get to the rock eventually at some point, or the cliff at the end.
You wanted that drone footage, right?
Yeah. So I just I planned for those things where I was just like, you know, but the thing that I had going for me in that was we were up against, you know, a storm, and you can't fly a drone in the storm. Like we were kind of like racing the clock. We were kind of you know, and I feel like that almost like really got a lot of people like interested in watching it because, I mean, if you take a look at that video for a vlogging video, for a vlog of mine, that's definitely one of the highest viewed vlogs that I've had. And like, if now we're comparing that to like a product review or something, like it doesn't even compare. Like product review videos, like I get all kinds of views on those, but like I do like to see that, you know, like my vlogs and stuff get a decent amount of attention. And I'm really wondering if it is because, you know, it was maybe put together nicely, like story wise, and you know, B-roll too.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching it. I did feel like at some point I did think, is he gonna actually get this vlog? Will he be able to put this vlog together based on the storm coming, kind of thing? So there is definitely like that interest when you put something like that in there. We're like, will this happen? Will it work out for us? Like, you know, it's a good story tactic.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's cool. I mean, and you know, if any of you guys who are watching or anything who's still sticking around, if you guys like are looking for story, like how to like tell a story in your videos and things like that, there's a million different ways to do it. Hit up Google and just type in like, you know what, like a 3-story or a 3-act story structure, things like that. How to add storytelling in your vlogs. And they'll just give you like nice like tips and tricks on how to, you know, use little techniques like that to keep people around, because that's, you know, that's a cool thing to have people.
The other thing I was also thinking about, I wanted to talk to you about this, is I find that, and this is, I think everybody does this, and it drives me nuts. It's when you're creating a video, and I do this too. I'll say, hey guys, welcome to the vlog or whatever. But it's not, hey guys, because most of the time it's one person that's watching your video. And it's like, I love that idea that like, I'm making this video, this vlog is for you. Like the person that's watching, I'm shooting all this to entertain you. And it's that individuality that you know what I mean? I want to bring in more, but you get so wrapped up with everyone else doing it, where everyone's like, hey guys, it's not, you know, 20 people watching your video at the same time. It's that one viewer that's logged in, you know? I don't know.
Dude, I really like that. And I almost think that I subconsciously started kind of going away from that recently. And I've noticed because, you know, whenever you're doing this, like I read this great book. I can't think of the name right now, but I'll have to let you guys know. But it's basically just kind of like, it's a book geared towards advertising and marketing. And basically I used the same principles from that for my YouTube channel. Like kind of you know, like rituals. Like we said, you have certain rituals in your videos that people can depend on seeing when they watch your videos. A lot of mine was, you know, like I cover the lens. That's a big thing in mine. That was a ritual in mine. The one thing I always said in the beginning was, what's up, gang? And like, it was cool to like kind of include everybody and say like, hey, gang, what's up? But I've also noticed that lately I didn't want to start my videos like that anymore. I just start with my idea. I don't even address anybody anymore. I don't even say hi.
Yeah.
And it's a strange thing.
No,
like, I almost
good.
feel like I'm being rude by not saying hi. And it's so funny because like nobody
like,
fucking cares.
I like that. I think that's a great idea. I think that's a really good idea because like I already know going on to your video, it's you. I just want to just jump right into it. Like let's go. Let's just start the video.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the way you say it now. Yeah.
I think it's cool. I think it's just and I've thought about, channel intros and things like that. I've thought about like, completely ditching my channel intro, but I really like it and it's short and it's something that I'm going to stick with because I like it. And your intro, I noticed that you shortened yours.
I did. I shortened it quite a bit. Yeah. Same thing. I mean,
yours wasn't even that long.
I know, but again, it's like,
right? The longer one that we're talking about wasn't even that long. It was only like 8 seconds.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So now it's only like 4 seconds.
Yeah.
But it does work. It works so much better. It really does because you have your hey, what's up? Let me show you around, and it's just like bam, straight to, your title card, and you're right into the video, and it's perfect. So you're definitely hitting that whole like ball rolling within seconds of the start. It's
good.
Yeah, it's real nice. I like it a lot.
Good.
So very good, man. Well, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to call this one because we went way longer than I thought we were going to. I wanted to keep these things at like 20 minutes. But dude, I don't know. When I'm talking to you,
I'm talking to you all the time. I love it.
Yeah, I can't just spend 20 minutes talking to you about video. What do we got here? Anthony, short intros are key. I noticed my watch average time increased from 2 minutes to 5 minutes after just cutting my intro time in half. Really?
Yeah. See,
that's intense. Matt, have you seen any difference in your analytics like Anthony has?
Yeah, analytics wise, like I watch time has gone up. Maybe not like what Anthony's saying about the intros, because I don't know if I could really be able to tell, but yeah, increasing the shot, I think just making the videos shorter, I find like it has gone up. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I try to, like you were saying, you're comfortable around that 4 or 5 minute mark. And that's really kind of what I'm trying to hit too. Obviously not with these live videos though.
And not the hour long.
Yeah, I love this. I mean, like what I really hope to do with these types of videos is just like, I want Matt to be a normal fixture on this show.
Yes.
I think that we have great conversation, and it's been a little while since I've done some live stuff. So, trying to get the show up and running, we were running into problems with cameras and audio and all that stuff. And it was something else. But, as we move forward and things get more smooth and we're talking about different topics, we can have a bunch of different collaborators on these conversations. So, if we're talking about, something else, and there's like 3 or 4 people that I think are going to have a really good opinion on this, then this turns into a roundtable discussion.
I love it. It's going to be good.
I think it's going to be really neat. And the goal here is to just honestly, just hash out ideas and, get support from other people and, just hang out and have fun. I want this to be a place where people feel comfortable asking questions, even, the most basic of things, like how do you take footage from this camera and get it onto your computer? I'll teach you how to do that. I'll tell you how to do it. It's just a good thing to be able to have a group of people who have kind of, been through this for a couple years. You've been doing this for years. I've only been doing this for a couple years. And, to have a group of people who are so willing to just like hang out and have fun and talk about this stuff is pretty awesome.
We're your support group.
Definitely. I love it. It's fun. Everybody's, and like the whole idea is like everybody's my support group, because I sit here and just like, what is this working for me? Like, am I going in the direction that I wanted my niche to go? And I would say definitely. We got a lot of good comments on here, people asking questions, joining in the conversations, and I think it's awesome. So
no, I like it. I definitely look forward to the future for this.
Yeah. Anthony's looking forward to the next one. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Chris, thank you for sticking around and hanging out. Stay true to that HX80. She'll treat you good, I promise.
Yes, it will.
All right. Matt, have fun. Sorry I kept you. I know we've got like a big time difference. It's like 10:22 here, so I'm probably interrupting your dinner.
It's all good, my friend.
All right. Well, I will see you guys later. We'll see you next Thursday. Next Thursday is going to be kind of a wild one. I'm going to be on the road, actually. I'll be in New Orleans. So whoever I get a hold of for whatever topic, it's going to kind of be by the seat of the pants. So it's a great way to start out an ongoing thing.
That's going to be good.
No. All right. Well, we'll see you guys later. Thanks, Matt.
No problem.
Always a blast.
Nice talking to you. See ya.
All right.